Picture this. After years of pinching pennies, skipping vacations, and planning carefully, you finally reward yourself by buying a brand new hybrid or electric car. You feel a genuine sense of pride. You are not just upgrading your wheels, you are joining a global movement for cleaner air, lower emissions, and a healthier planet. You imagine yourself as a pioneer, blazing a trail for sustainable technology, and you drive off into the future with a clear conscience. But flash forward a few years. Your eco-friendly vehicle, once a symbol of progress, suddenly breaks down. You brace yourself for the inconvenience, but what you did not expect is the staggering cost and logistical nightmare of getting rid of it. Disposing of your green car is not just difficult, it could cost you more than the car is even worth. This is not some hypothetical scenario or cautionary tale from a distant future. It is happening right now on the small but forward-thinking island of Jersey, and it is a warning sign for communities everywhere. Let's rewind for a moment and see how we got here. Over the last 15 years, governments from Jersey to Japan, California to Copenhagen have rallied behind electric vehicles, EVs, as a silver bullet to cut urban air pollution and fight global climate change. Electric vehicles were promoted as the future. In Jersey, the government rolled out generous packages, grants, tax breaks, and even reduced road taxes for anyone willing to trade in their gasoline-powered clunkers for a new, whisper-quiet electric or hybrid model. For a while, the momentum was unstoppable. Worldwide, over 20 million electric vehicles now roam the streets, a meteoric rise from just a fraction of that number a decade ago. The electric surge was about more than saving the Earth. It promised lower running costs, fewer breakdowns, less time at the mechanic, and a new era of smarter, cleaner, and more affordable mobility for all. People like Francesca Gayet, a resident of Jersey, became early adopters. For Francesca, switching to a hybrid was about living her values, showing faith in a cleaner future. It seemed like everything was going to plan, until the car reached the end of its life. The challenge that followed was not what she expected. The cost and complexity of getting rid of her hybrid was a rude awakening. Unlike conventional cars, electric and hybrid vehicles are powered by advanced lithium-ion batteries and are packed with rare, sometimes hazardous materials. Think nickel, cobalt, manganese, and even traces of gold and copper. These elements cannot just be dumped into a landfill or left to rust in a scrapyard. They require specialized dismantling, safe handling, and advanced recycling processes, facilities and expertise that most communities, including Jersey, simply do not have. In fact, very few areas worldwide are equipped to handle the coming wave of retired electric vehicles. So what happens when your eco-car finally dies? In Jersey, the answer is both surprising and infuriating. When Francesca's hybrid gave up, she was told she would have to pay a hefty fee just to dispose of it safely. In her words, it was not even worth £100. The frustration was real, and she is far from the only one. Across the island, other residents who jumped on board the Green Revolution are now discovering this hidden, unexpected cost. The government's response so far has been somewhat muted. Jersey's infrastructure minister, Constable Andy Jehan, admits that waste workers lack training and that there are no proper facilities yet for safety pollution of electric cars. The government ended its electric vehicle incentive program at the close of 2024, leaving early adopters feeling let down. There is a growing sense of abandonment, which is fueling skepticism about whether the electric vehicle boom is really as green and sustainable as advertised. But Jersey's dilemma is just a taste of what is coming for the world. According to the International Energy Agency, within the next decade, the world could be dealing with millions of retired electric vehicle batteries, each battery weighing hundreds, sometimes more than 1,000 pounds. These batteries are full of valuable but toxic substances. If not properly recycled, they could contaminate soil, water, and air. Imagine mountains of used batteries piling up in warehouses, junkyards, or being illegally dumped in countries with weak environmental protections. This is not science fiction, it is a looming crisis. Industry insiders are sounding the alarm. We are simply not prepared for the tidal wave of electric vehicle waste that's coming. If we do not act, the very technology designed to protect the environment could end up creating a new pollution nightmare. Why did so many miss this problem? For years, the conversation around electric vehicles has focused on tailpipe emissions, battery range, and the thrill of high-tech innovation. Policymakers and automakers were eager to sell the benefits: lower carbon footprints, cleaner communities, and fast, futuristic cars. But few stopped to ask, what happens at the end of these vehicles' lives? The infrastructure for recycling and safe disposal lagged far behind the sales boom. It is a classic case of unintended consequences, solving one problem only to create another. The stakes are especially high for places like Jersey, where space and resources are limited. Without a safe, affordable way to handle end-of-life batteries and hybrid components, abandoned vehicles and leaking chemicals could become a common sight, threatening the environment for generations. Imagine an island peppered with rusted-out electric cars, their batteries seeping toxins into the earth and groundwater. And it is not just small islands at risk. In densely populated cities, the sheer number of retired electric vehicles could overwhelm waste management systems, creating vast new environmental and public health hazards. Globally, the numbers are daunting. Experts project that by the early 2030s, tens of millions of electric vehicles will hit retirement age. That means millions of tons of battery waste, each ton presenting unique challenges. Without immediate action, the green revolution could morph into a new kind of waste crisis, undermining public trust and slowing progress on climate goals. Yet, in the face of this adversity, innovation is stirring. Around the world, entrepreneurs, researchers, and policymakers are racing to turn this looming challenge into a new opportunity. On New York's Long Island, for example, utilities have begun repurposing expired electric vehicle batteries as backup power sources for the electric grid. These used batteries, instead of heading straight to the scrapyard, are getting a second life in energy storage, helping to keep the lights on during peak demand or outages. This creative approach not only reduces waste, but also supports grid reliability and lowers emissions further. Could Jersey or other regions adopt similar models, turning a headache into an asset? Meanwhile, research labs and tech companies are developing cutting-edge recycling methods. The aim? To extract as much usable material as possible: lithium, cobalt, nickel, copper from spent batteries. In the most advanced facilities, up to 80% or more of these metals can be recovered and reused. This does not just help with waste, it addresses a growing supply chain concern. The metals inside electric vehicle batteries are limited and becoming more expensive. As demand for electric vehicles explodes, securing a sustainable, ethical supply is crucial. Recycling is emerging as a key part of the solution. Could Jersey become a leader in this new industry? The answer depends on whether local government, businesses, and citizens are willing to invest in the necessary facilities and workforce training. Instead of shipping dead batteries overseas, often to places with poor safety standards, Jersey could build its own advanced recycling centers, create high-tech green jobs, and become a model for sustainable technology. But the risks of inaction are real and growing. If governments move too slowly, the costs of handling old electric vehicles could soar. This would make it less appealing for drivers to buy new, cleaner models, slowing the shift away from fossil fuels. The used electric vehicle market could shrink as buyers worry about high end-of-life costs. All this could threaten progress on climate change goals and leave early adopters like Francesca feeling betrayed. Francesca Guyot summed it up. "We were encouraged to go green. Now we're left paying the price for doing the right thing." Her story is echoed in forums, social media, and community meetings as more people confront the hidden costs of the green transition. So what does this mean for you, whether you live on a tiny island or in a bustling city? The electric vehicle revolution is about more than what happens on the road. It is about the whole life cycle, from mining metals to manufacturing to recycling and disposal. If you are considering an electric or hybrid car, it is more important than ever to ask tough questions. What is the manufacturer's end-of-life policy? Does your dealer offer battery take-back or recycling guarantees? Some leading automakers now promise responsible handling, but standards vary. Make sure you are not left holding the bill for someone else's oversight. On a bigger scale, this story is a wake-up call. We need to look beyond the marketing promises of any new technology. Every innovation, however green, has a hidden environmental cost. As voters, consumers, and citizens, we all have a role. Support policies and investments in recycling infrastructure. Demand transparency from companies and governments. Let your representatives know you want true sustainability from start to finish. This issue is also part of a larger economic and social puzzle. In recent months, energy prices have soared to historic highs across regions such as New Jersey. A combination of grid challenges, plant closures, and rising demand has led to record utility bills. The pressure to adopt cleaner, more efficient technologies is immense. Yet, as Jersey's story shows, adopting new solutions without planning for their afterlife can create real financial headaches for ordinary people. True sustainability means thinking about the entire ecosystem, from how we generate and store energy, to how we move, to how we manage waste. There are also important lessons from history. When the internal combustion engine first became widespread over a century ago, few could have foreseen the problems that would follow: endless traffic jams, oil addiction, air pollution, and mountains of discarded cars. Every leap forward brings new challenges. The lesson? We must plan for what comes next, not just what is happening now. Looking ahead, there are promising signs. In countries such as Canada, Germany, and parts of the United States, governments are working with automakers to set tough targets for battery recycling and reuse. The European Union is leading the way, with strict regulations requiring manufacturers to take back old batteries and use recycled content in new ones. These policies are shifting the market, but progress is uneven. In many places, recycling infrastructure is still lagging. The private sector is also stepping up. Innovative startups are developing chemical and mechanical recycling techniques to recover valuable metals from old batteries. Some are exploring urban mining, harvesting metals not just from cars, but from discarded electronics and appliances. This could help build a true circular economy, reducing the need for destructive mining in vulnerable regions like the Congo or South America, where environmental and social costs are high. At the same time, there is a darker side to the story: the rise of black market recycling. The metals inside electric vehicle batteries are so valuable that organized crime is getting involved. In cities from New Zealand to the United States, police are reporting a surge in break-ins at substations and scrapyards. Thieves are after copper, lithium, and other rare elements. Illegal exports and unsafe recycling are on the rise, creating new environmental risks and robbing communities of economic value. Without strong regulation and oversight, the electric vehicle waste crisis could spiral out of control. And the pressure is not just environmental. Economic factors are making the issue more urgent. In New Jersey, for example, the loss of over 2,700 megawatts of energy generation, thanks to the closure of 7 major power plants since 2017, has tightened the grid and driven up prices. Regional electricity auctions have set new record highs, with rates expected to rise by nearly 1/4 between 2025 and 2026. Households and businesses are seeing utility bills spike, and the need for reliable, affordable, and clean energy solutions has never been greater. This places even more importance on getting the electric vehicle transition right, from start to finish. There are also social and political consequences to consider. In regions like the Jersey Shore, environmental funding is under threat, with federal budget cuts endangering vital beach replenishment projects. Meanwhile, debates rage over new coastal rules and clean energy policies. The choices made today will shape communities, economies, and ecosystems for years to come. Will we invest in resilient circular systems or continue piecemeal fixes that leave ordinary people with the bill? So next time you see an electric car glide silently down the street, remember, the real revolution lies not just in how we drive, but in how we handle what comes after. The green transition can only succeed if we embrace the whole cycle, from production to use to reuse and safe disposal. This requires smart policies, real investment, and active community engagement, not just individual consumer choices. If this story made you think, be sure to subscribe and stay with us as we dive into the next big questions in global technology and economics. Share your ideas in the comments. What solutions do you see for the electric vehicle waste challenge? Are there programs or innovations in your community worth spotlighting? Your voice matters and could help spark the next breakthrough in clean technology, not just in Jersey, but around the world. Ultimately, the electric vehicle waste dilemma is a test of our collective resolve. Will we let our green dreams rot in scrapyards and landfills, or rise to the challenge and build a future where technology is truly clean, from beginning to end, for generations to come? The decision